Hello. Welcome to our Parks and Rec Commission meeting. I will call the meeting to order, please. It is 5:30 p.m. Nate, could we do a roll call?
Let the record show all commissioners are present with 2 vacancies.
Thank you. Could everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Great, thank you. I don't think we have any special presentations or proclamations today? No, okay. And I don't believe there's any oral communications.
There are no oral communications.
Okay,
And there are no changes to the agenda either.
okay. So that will move us to item 7 of the agenda, which is the approval of the January 16th regular meeting minutes. I hope everyone had a chance to review that. Were there any questions on the minutes from the January 16th meeting? No.
I would move to approve the minutes.
Okay, I can second that. I'm sorry, is anybody else? We've got a second and a third, okay.
Chair Winters, was that you that seconded?
I did, yes, okay. Did it not take mine? No. Okay.
Okay, the January 16th minutes are approved.
Great. Thank you. So our main action item for today is to kind of finalize and approve our work plan outcomes for what we have worked on for the last year here. So I do think because this is an important item and really does kind of summarize and culminate all of the work we all did, that I do think we should take a second just to kind of look at our final outcomes for this work plan 23-24. This was available ahead of time, so maybe commissioners have had a chance to review it, but it won't take us very long. We can just kind of go through them one by one. I don't think we need to read them aloud, but let's just kind of start with work plan item number 1. Were there any questions or comments or changes to the final outcome? I'll give everybody kind of a minute to just review it one last time.
The only question I would have would be under members involved. Weren't we all involved with that? Or was there Winters, Ritter, and O'Halloran leading it?
I think everybody, all the commissioners were involved with that. I think that is that column is maybe who helped coordinate the participation at the various events. So I feel like it's understood that all commissioners were involved with this this outcome. Do you agree with that, Ross?
Well, I do notice on work plan number 2, we do kind of list all, but then we list the ad hoc that kind of was responsible separately. So perhaps to your point, maybe we should just include the word all and then list the ad hoc members like we did in number 2.
Yeah, I think that's a good Yeah. Manager Himmer, is that something that we could update where we'll just add the word all because all commissioners were involved in that work plan item?
Manager Hamer here. Where would you like all added? Could you define
Do
that
you
again?
see in, yes, thank you. So if you look on work plan item 2, where we have all and then maybe the ad hoc below it, I think we could probably just replace members involved with all. So just delete Winters, Ritter, O'Halloran, and add all to that instead.
Okay, I will update that. I cannot update it on this PDF, but we can do that in the final work plan when it goes to City Council.
Super, thank you. Thanks, Commissioner Quinn, for pointing that out. Thanks. Any other comments or suggestions on that, number 1? Nope, okay, great. Let's just kind of take again another minute to look at the final outcome for work plan item number 2, please. Any comments at all then to work plan item number 2? Or does that seem okay to everybody? Good, okay. Great. Let's look at the final outcome then for work plan item number 3, please. If we could just take a minute to review that one too. Everybody okay with that one? Okay.
I'm just a little troubled by BCK. I don't know who that is.
That was the student group that came in?
Yeah, is that acronym? Can we just pull that out, make the whole thing? Or is that what they call themselves, BCK?
I think that's the name of their school or program, but I don't know what it stands for.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I think it's something different. It's not important.
Yeah, I think we can adopt this final outcome as it's written, and I kind of would also just like to stress, I think this is one of these work plan items that goes on the agenda year after year, and I think, based on my experience, they're really important, and I think they're really valuable. Whomever the commissioners are that want to try to take that one on next year, I really encourage you to look broadly throughout the different departments of our city, different communities, different agencies that we work with, different types of even businesses. It's just, I think, a really interesting one that we can do. So I would encourage, I think this is one that should probably stay on the work plan for perpetuity, as it just helps all of us get more educated, and I'd really encourage people to think broadly about it. So great, but I think we can adopt that final outcome as is stated. The next 2, 4, and 5, we've kind of reviewed already collectively. I think those both kind of stay as is. We haven't really made too many changes to those for a few months. Let's just take a second to look at the work plan item for number 6. I think we did maybe add a sentence at the very end of that, but we could just review work plan item number 6, please. The final outcome. I have a Manager Hamer. Is 150 still a good number there? Did we break 500, or are we still at one?
We're actually over 160, so if
160.
you wanted to vote to update that would be fine.
I'll leave it to you if you think it's necessary, if we make these final little tweaks. So if you wanted to change it to over 160, that would be great.
Should we put a date in front of that, as long as we're making a change? As of February 29th, they had 160 members.
Manager Hamer here. I do believe that would be as of when the work plan is approved. So I don't think you'd have to put the date on there. And I did look up BCK, just so you are aware. I did a quick search for them, and it just says BCK. It does not define what each letter stands for.
What's their problem, not ours?
Yeah, yeah.
I had a question regarding so the volunteers have participated in events like the Nutcrackers and Walking Club. I assume we're talking about the volunteers that have come through the Ballistics software. Are there other programs too that these volunteers have participated in that we might also notate?
Manager Hamer here. The primary program is the nutrition program. So that could be added, if that's something that you would want to add to that.
I think adding to the nutrition program, since it's such a critical one for the
Yeah.
city, that we should add that. Yeah.
Yes, it is the primary source of volunteers, so we can go ahead and add that.
And would you call that the nutrition program, or what would you suggest naming that particular program?
I would call it the senior nutrition program. And
So
we
I
could list
suggest that
that.
we make it right before the Nutcrackers, so participating in events like the senior nutrition program, the Nutcrackers, and Walking Club.
I was just going to recommend that. And if you wanted to, we could say arts programs because, from art night to different cultural arts programs, we have had volunteers participating. Probably art night is a bigger feature than the Nutcracker. That was just the most recent one.
Maybe we might substitute Nutcrackers with arts programs, because then it would be a little bit more encompassing, and then still keep the Walking Club being separate. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. I just want to make sure that we're going to adopt and agree on that language in this forum. So, Manager Hamer, would it be okay if you maybe read just the final sentence then for work plan item number 6, as we just discussed it?
Yes, Manager Hamer here. I made notes that we would list volunteers have participated in the senior nutrition program, arts programs, and walking club. I mean, events like that, or we could do such as,
I think events such as, that'd be great. Yeah.
such as.
Yeah, great. Perfect. I think we're satisfied with that outcome for number 6. We have number 7 is also just changed a little bit, I think, from our last draft. So why don't we take a minute to look at the outcome for number 7 and then see if there's any comments on that, and then we can also maybe just get a quick update because there was, I believe, an important meeting in the interim too.
And the change that we made was the last sentence, the ad hoc reviewed and provided input in the preliminary design concepts. So basically, we originally met with staff and the consultants. We had a kickoff call, and then the consultants came back with some concepts for us to look at. And so the ad hoc provided feedback to staff as to what we thought of those concepts, and then they incorporated that with the feedback that they gave to the consultants.
Great. And are you okay with this sentence as it's added?
Yes, it's fine.
Great, okay. I think this outcome is good as written as well. Does anybody have any comments to number 7? No? Okay, great. We'll move on to number 8, which relates to tennis court and pickleball court use.
There's something not quite right with that last sentence.
Yep. Thank you.
Manager Hamer here. Would it work if we took out with? So instead it's staff are developing proposed rule changes based on the ad hoc and community input?
yes, I think that's, unless they're doing that in conjunction with anybody else, but I think that makes a significant improvement. So the change is now staff are developing proposed rule changes based on the ad hoc and community input.
I kind of read that like we're changing the rules to pickleball. And might add the word participant, proposed participant rule changes.
Or is it play rules? Or is it,
Yeah, it is
Okay.
play rules.
The ad hoc, so let's just go through it then slowly. So the first sentence says, the ad hoc met with staff and users to discuss court usage and sharing conflicts, including proposed rule changes at the pickleball courts. So we're referring to the pickleball courts, but they're the same courts, or the pickleball courts and the tennis courts that we share.
Yeah, instead of rule, well, let's replace that with participant.
Well, the rules that they're referring to there is how the courses are, how the courts, excuse me, are allocated and used.
Yeah, you and I know that.
yeah, allocated, and then also what type of play, whether it's group or,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then, I think that first sentence remains okay, but then the second sentence, we could say, staff are developing proposed rule changes based on the ad hoc and community input. Is that still confusing to some commissioners, or does that seem like that?
Well, that was the one I wanted to change. I wasn't so strong about the first one. The first one would be the same argument. Because we're not proposing any rule changes.
Manager Hamer here. I do think, based on the monitoring of the tennis and pickleball court use, that's why the rule changes have come forward, based on the monitoring and the feedback.
Commissioner Hanson, you still,
No, I'm fine with it.
you're fine with that now? Okay.
I'm not-
Any other commissioners have any? So it really seems like then the only change we'll be making is the deletion of that word with in the second sentence. Great, okay, thank you. Don't think there's been too much change to, and again, this is another, let me just back up to number 8. This is a kind of another ongoing work plan item that I think is gonna, it kind of popped up, I think, in my second year. This is my third year, and it got some traction in the second year, got some more traction in the third year, and it's one that I think still is an important one that deserves some attention from this commission. We've talked about the physical infrastructure outside Moonlight, the Moonlight Beach Court. We've talked about and tried to make some impact on the lighting, of course, at the senior center. And pickleball still seems to be growing and expanding, so it is another one that I think hopefully will remain on the work plan, and I think should pop its head up again as people, maybe in the next stage, we start to talk about policies related to open play, group play, shared play, things like that. So another kind of important item, I think, that will probably continue for the foreseeable future. Moving to item number 9, this, of course, relates to the pop-up parks. I don't think there were any changes to this, but we'll just spend a minute or so just confirming this says what we wanted to say.
Manager Hamer here. I do think we believe that we need to update from 2023 to 2024.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
From January 2023 to May of 2024?
No.
No, they're both before us, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, both 24?
okay,
Yep.
gotcha. True.
Good proofreading, Manager Hamer. Thank you.
We're working on the events right now, so that's why it's the forefront.
Perfect.
So do,
Yeah, there was, to remind everybody on the commission and for the thousands watching at home, there was some bad weather right in January of this year, which therefore postponed this event. Is that correct? Through until the spring? Is that?
It was a combination of weather concerns, but most importantly, that May is National Bike Month.
Okay.
So it was a great way to integrate attention to bike safety and bike routes and bicycling.
Got
So
it. And
it
is
was a
our
combination.
is it our intention to have Cyclovia in May going forward?
Yes, every year it will be in May.
Got it. Okay, thank you. So,
what are our thoughts on maybe changing that last sentence to say something like, due to the Cyclovia event, moving from January 2024 to May 2024, the pop-up park, lost my train of thought, the pop-up park did not occur during this term.
I think that's fine as well, if you prefer that wording. I don't think it, if that's something you feel strongly about, we can certainly do that. So the last sentence of work plan item number 9 would say, due to the Cyclovia event moving from January 2024 to May 2024, the pop-up park was not incorporated or utilized during this term. Manager Hamer, any?
Do you want me to reread? Based on what Vice Chair Ritter had said, I had, due to the Cyclovia event moving from January 2024 to May 2024, the pop-up park did not occur this term. Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, thank you.
Quick question on this particular work plan item. What's involved with getting 2 or 3 cornhole sets ordered so that they'd be available for this May?
So any sort of supplies such as that would need to be budgeted. If we have extra money in our budget, we could look at that, because I do think it could be used for camps and other recreation and parks programs. I know in last month's meeting, it was brought up that the Friends may have some funding that they could donate towards purchasing these for the commission. So I believe moving forward, we would just have to look at one option or the other. They were not budgeted for in the last fiscal year, so that would be something that only if we had funds available.
Thank you.
If only we knew somebody who was important at the Friends of Encinitas City Parks. We could. Great. Thank you, Manager Hamer. Work plan item number 10. We can take a minute to look at that work plan outcome, please. Everybody looks good? Yeah, and this is another one where I think as commissioners, if you can reach out to these other non-government related but still important, organizations like the Encinitas Trails Coalition is a great example. We get good feedback. We learn about what's going on in our city, and it's just another touch point. So I think that was really great that the ad hoc was able to meet with that organization. I'd encourage. I think this is sort of another work plan item that tends to stay on the work plan. So I'd encourage you to, stay in touch with them, and you can be their liaisons to us. And I think that's also highlights items that are important to the community. So I think it's another great, really tangible item that we achieved this year. So
So really important, is that a comma at the very end of that statement? Or period?
I think that might be a comma. If it is, we should. Oh, is there?
Manager Hamer here, we can
Oh.
change the comma to a period.
No, I'm sorry.
It moves on to
It
the
continues
second
on to the
page.
next page. I apologize. So,
The page break is missed.
yeah. ad hoc attended an Encinitas Trails Coalition meeting with staff, reported feedback from users, and promoted the use of the Outer Spatial app, period. So I think that's,
Perhaps when we do the final one for the city council, we could do a line break there for item number 10 and just push it down into the second page, so it's all on one page.
You're breaking it, not between 9 and 10.
yeah, we'll break it, if possible, between 9 and 10 as opposed to the middle of 10.
Manager Hamer here. I will make a note for that, so when it gets finalized, we add a line break.
Great, thank you. Okay, the last, next work plan item was number 11, continue support of Friends of Encinitas Park as they continue support of Parks and Recreation.
The part should be plural.
I'm sorry, it's Friends of Encinitas Parks, is that,
Yeah.
Okay.
As they continued support. Parks
Under
and
the stated goal.
okay. Commissioner Hanson, anything you want to just provide about an update on how things are going, your recruitment of the board, or on your side on the Friends of Encinitas Parks?
We tried to have a board meeting in the last month, and I couldn't pull off a quorum. So I'm gonna try again in about 2 weeks. From what I understand, the drinking fountain's in. I don't know if it's been installed yet. We haven't done anything in terms of like a plaque or anything yet.
Great.
Other than that, I'm working with Manager Hamer at trying to get some speed going with it.
Okay, great. We appreciate your hard work on that.
Substance.
Yep. So it did say Manager Hamer, just the only change may be that in the first column, it's continue support of Friends of Encinitas Parks, plural there. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I updated that. Thank you.
Okay, great. I don't think we really need to make any comments on number 12 and 13. Nate, do we need to make a motion at all on this to approve these?
Yes, so we'd have to make a motion and second to approve with the proposed revisions.
Right.
And then we'd later take it to city council.
Okay, so I guess I'd like to make that motion that we approve these 2023, 2024 final work plan items as discussed and slightly modified here today.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, the fiscal year 23-24 commission work plan is approved.
Great. Just before we move on to the next item, I just really want to thank everybody on the commission who worked diligently on these work plan items this year. And I also want to thank everybody who worked on items that weren't on the work plan item. Sometimes that happens throughout the course of the year as well. And that work, which is either just interacting with the community, listening when people come to bring their concerns to us, or being proactive on any of these concerns, even though they're not officially part of our work plan, they're still part of our work. And I just really want to thank everybody for their hard work on that as well. So thank you for that. I think that was, of course, an important agenda item for us today, but equally important, are we going to, without Manager Norgard, will we have a park operations report today?
Manager Hamer here. Yes, I do have some notations regarding parks that I wanted to share with you.
Super. Okay, so maybe we could move on to item 9A, the park operations report, or from Manager Hamer in lieu of Manager Norgard. Thank you.
Manager Hamer here. We have all the fields and dog park are closed today due to rain. We've notified all our sports groups and camps and programs, and we are turning them to use our mud line to see if they will reopen tomorrow. The mud line number is 760-633-2622. 2761 for anybody who wants to know what that number is and needs to use that for the future. It's a very important tool that we use to make sure people don't use the fields until they're ready to be used. And we did mention in the work plan about the field allocation policy, and I wanted to make sure you're aware that the field allocation policy and use is approved by City Council. It was done in January 24, so that was great news. And thank you so much for your help with overseeing that, your ideas, your suggestions. It was a long process, but it was very satisfying to have it finally finished, and it really will make an impact on use of fields and space and lights. So thank you for that. I also wanted to touch base that the City Council will be reviewing the Parks and Recreation Commission candidates, and that will be tomorrow. So thank you for those who applied. There's 3 appointments, and that term will be ending March 1st, 2027. So we're excited about new commissioners, but also carrying on many of these work plan items that you identified that should be carried on beyond this group. And the other item I wanted to share is that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Storm Damage Reduction Project is beginning this week. They've had great success in Solana Beach. I spoke with their recreation manager there, and they are thrilled with the results. So we're very excited to have that same outcome happen in Encinitas. I have more details. I don't need to read all of it, but they will be setting up, start staging at Moonlight Beach this week. It includes the creation of a fenced-off enclosure for heavy equipment, piping, supplies, and modular construction offices within a portion of the beach area. There will be limited access and temporary closures to areas around Moonlight Beach, and the park may be present. So that's right here this week, and we just wanted to make sure you were all aware. You can go onto the city's website for updates. It's encinitasca.gov/SLR. So if you wanted to get updates, or if people were asking you about that, you could give them the most current. They did say it could take up to 60 days. We're hoping it completes before then, because it does impact our some of our surf schools and spring break programs. If we're unable to set up there, we may look at Swami's as a potential location, but that is still all uncertain at this point. That is the conclusion of the parks information.
I had one question, and recognizing this is not completely within your department, I understand if it's not a question you can answer. But is there any update on the timing of repair reopening as it relates to Cardiff State Beach parking lot? And again, I understand this isn't exactly within your purview, but maybe you've heard. Who's going to be responsible for overseeing how that parking lot is kind of rebuilt?
Those updates should be on the city website, and it's usually overseen by our engineering and planning department. So even though it seems like it's under parks, it would still be incorporated with their projects. Projects and updates are listed on the city website. So if you're not seeing a specific answer and you want more detail, you're welcome to email Manager Norgard, and ask for more details, and he could probably point you in the right direction. But the city website usually is the primary location for updates and information on these types of projects that impact the public.
Great, thank you.
Do you know what's going on at Beacons?
That would be under the same category, is to check the city webpage for the most current up-to-date progress or oversight. And it's usually the engineering department with contractors who are overseeing that. And then once again, for anything specific, check with Manager Norgard, or they're on the website.
The mud line that you mentioned, is that for field use only, or does that cover trail use as well?
The mud line is for fields and the dog park. Trails are not included in that. That could be something, though, that we asked to have added.
That would seem to kind of fit the purpose. I know that we have a lot of challenges when we do get significant rain sometimes not even significant rain, with the trails getting damaged due to that. So it might be worthwhile to consider adding trails if we could.
Manager Hamer here. I will definitely add that. I agree with you. It would be a good resource for the public.
And I guess I have one last question. Do you know the timing or anything? Have they started a search for, what is the role? It's not the manager role, it's the higher role that I guess would oversee the director, thank you, yeah. Have they started that search already? Is there any update on, are they interviewing now, or kind of what the timing might be?
Yes, the city did hire a recruiter that is a national recruiter. So there was an open national recruitment on, I believe it was like Gov USA. And the recruiter did speak to the managers in the department to see what sort of director would be best fit for the department. And I do believe that recruitment has now closed and they're in the midst of screening candidates. The acting director, Roy Sapau, is overseeing that, and he did tell staff that he anticipates an announcement by April for who will be appointed.
Great, thank you very much for that update. Anything else on the park operations report? Then maybe we could move over to the recreation service report, also by Manager Hamer. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. It's fun wearing two hats. I'm also going to include some arts highlights here. The Music by the Sea concert is this Friday, February 23rd, 7:30 p.m., featuring Logos Trio at the Encinitas Library. Tickets are $20 in advance and $25 at the door. They do sell out, so if you have the interest, go online for your tickets. It's encinitasca.gov/concerts. Next week is the California Parks and Recreation State Conference, and that is February 27th through March 1st in Palm Springs. We are sending some of our team to attend to bring back ideas and innovation that they learn from the statewide resources that are offered there. So we are excited about attending that. The Explore Encinitas Spring Activity Guide, which includes summer camps, will be mailed to residents on Saturday, March 2nd, with registration opening on Monday, March 4th at 8 a.m. If you know people interested in signing up for that, make sure they have that alert and put it on their calendar. Also want to announce the Art Night, which is on Saturday, March 9th. 5:30 to 9:30, where there will be civic and local art galleries opening their doors for exhibits and workshops, including the Encinitas and Senior Center, City Hall, and Library. A free shuttle is included, and the highlight will be artist talks, community workshops, live music, film screenings, and poetry workshops. So they've added a few more highlights to that. Also, don't want you to forget the spring egg hunt, which will be Saturday, March 30th. Hunts are 10:15, 11, 11:45. Two fields are 4 and under, 5 and up. I'll be emailing all of you to see if you're able to help us. I know we could not do that without the help. Also, we are looking to reschedule the VIP appreciation reception. Originally, we had looked at a morning venue, but right now we are changing that to a Monday afternoon, 4:30 to 6, so we can incorporate our youth commissioners and volunteers who help with a lot of the different senior programs. So right now, that's scheduled for Monday, April 29th, 4:30 to 6 p.m. I will send you an email once it is finalized, but I just wanted to let you know it's moved to try to accommodate everybody. And I know last month we talked about the Public Art Sculpture Survey. That is now closed, and the Arts Commission will be reviewing the survey and making those assignments, and that will be posted on the arts page that is featured on the city website. And that is what I have. Last but not least, very important, the gym lights are being updated and upgraded the week of March 25th. So we know our pickleball players and other customers will be very happy when that happens. We will be closing the gym that week. We have notices up already, and it will be on the March calendar. But that is to happen on March 25th, week of, the full week. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions for Manager Hamer? No. Great, thank you very much for the report. Really informative, helpful, a lot of information, a lot of great activities going on as well, and something I think we all should be proud of, and I think you've done really integrated yourself wonderfully into the city, and I think we're all very happy and lucky to have you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor to work with all of you this past year, and I know it'll be changing a bit, but you'll be missed for those moving on, and for those staying, cannot wait to build back into the new work plan.
Great, thank you. Kind of go through some quick housekeeping items. I don't think there's any commission member-initiated agenda items. No, okay. Any future agenda items added by commission members? No, that one always seems to have a no. Okay, we can kind of do our commission reports roundtable. We start with Commissioner Ritter. Is that okay to start with you, or would you prefer not to start with? I could start with. I'll start with Commissioner. We'll go down the line like we've done. Commissioner Vandauer, is that okay? Okay.
Thank you. Also, Margaret, I'm also looking forward to working more with you in the coming year. And it's been a really good first year. Super glad to be on that work program and doing all those fun events with everyone. And we'll definitely miss our chair, is the biggest cheerleader at the parade, and that was super fun. So that will definitely be missed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I'll cheer from the sidelines then. That's Commissioner Quinn, anything to share today?
I have nothing to add except this was a fun year, and I look forward to the next 2 years, whoever's left, and the new commissioners that will be coming on.
Well, great. Hopefully you two will now have had a little more experience under your belt, and hopefully you'll be able to guide and assist and help some of the new commissioners as well. So I appreciate now that you kind of step up into a leadership role if you feel like it the next few years. So thank you. Yep. Commissioner Hinson.
Been a fun year. Really have enjoyed working with Manager Hamer. And Steve, I hope we can get you at the parade next year to do our cheerleading. That's all I have.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do my best. Okay. Vice Chair Ritter, anything you'd like to report today?
I also would like to second the comments on having Manager Hamer on our team. We're really excited to have you. I've seen a lot of positive things that have happened in your department because of your strong leadership. And I'm also really excited about things that Commissioner Hanson and Manager Hammer is working on with regards to Friends of Encinitas Parks. I think that building up that organization and really having a new channel to provide some additional funding to parks, I'm really excited about that. And actually, when I was in Springfield, Ohio, I ended up going to a brewery, and they were having a pizza contest where all the different pizza vendors from the city were competing against each other for who had the best pizza. But they also had a really nice booth for the city's, Friends of Springfield Parks. And so I got some promotional material, which I'll share with you, and took some photos so that you could kind of see what a sister organization is doing that might give us some ideas for how we might be able to do some public outreach. I think that the community of Encinitas loves our parks and that they feel very loyal to them. And I think that if they understood that there was a nonprofit out there that's really working to provide additional services or other benefits to the whole park network, and Recreation Network, that they would be definitely interested in donating and supporting that. So I'm really excited to see what next year might bring to that. I am actually finishing up my first term, so this is my 3-year point, and I did end up signing up for a second term if Mayor Krantz and the City Council decides that they want to keep me. So I may see you again. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And then I am really excited, too, about the work plan items that we had this year. I felt like there was a lot of meat in what we got done. And I would say out of the 3 years that I've served on the commission, we probably had more significant things that we did this year than any of the 3 years that I've served. So that says a lot to the commissioners here stepping up and fulfilling the important role. So certainly appreciate that very much. On a personal note, I'm really excited about the fitness courts or fitness facilities being integrated into our parks. I think that's going to be a new benefit that the community is really going to like. So I'm looking forward to driving that forward as my next term hopefully starts next year. And finally, I am going to deeply miss our chair. I've really enjoyed getting to know him over the last 3 years. We joined the commission together. I pulled on his arm so many times to try to drag him back, but I, just haven't quite done it. But we're definitely going to miss you. Thank you very much for your leadership. You've done a great job being chair this year, and look forward to seeing you at other events in the city in the future. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's kind words, Vice Chair Ritter. Ross, my friend, and we became friends kind of on this commission together as we were both a few years ago new and wide-eyed and not sure how it all worked. And I remember after the first meeting, Ross said to me, I think we should have some outdoor fitness equipment. And I said, that's a fantastic idea. Let's try to get that implemented by the next meeting. Let's try to not push, like, let's try to get the equipment out there by the next meeting. We think 60 days, that's enough time. And we realized, it is going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take a little bit longer than 60 days or 90 days. So here we are in year 3, still working, but making significant progress, which will actually change potentially the landscape of our city in a real positive way. And it just does take a number of years to do capital-intensive projects. But it also, like we saw, doesn't have to take that long because we can get new lights and improve people's lives in just a matter of months. So I appreciate, thank you very much for allowing me to be chair this year. I've enjoyed it. I've tried to do my best. I've enjoyed being on the commission. And I think the Parks and Rec Department is in great hands with our current managers, and I'm sure the commission will continue to support them and provide great advice and leadership to them and to advice to City Council going forward. So thank you all very much for your support, and I will, I guess, adjourn the meeting here now, I'm going to adjourn the meeting and my term as well at 6:18 p.m. Thank you very much.